Yo, you can't jam out if you're a Pokemon trainer. But Catcher Doug, I'm getting tired of your nonsense. Hello everybody and welcome to Shrews Only, the show where I try to beat Pokemon Leaf Green using only the humble Sandshrew. Why Sandshrews?
I just think they're neat.
In this ever-evolving world of pocket monsters, it's easy to love a Pikachu, a Charmander, a Vanillish, but it takes some moxie to get behind little old Sandshrew. So here are the ground rules. First and foremost, all battles will only be completed using Sandshrew. Rule number 2, it is Shrews only, not Slashes only. So yes, I'm not going to evolve any of the Sandshrews I'm using. I understand that there are literally certain parts of the game that you cannot advance in without certain HMs that Sandshrew cannot learn, and you know what? I accept that. The compromise here is that I'll leave those Pokemon in my party when I need them. However, if all my other Sandshrews get knocked out, then they're just gonna go into battle and do nothing. It's essentially a forfeit, and I'm okay with that. Rule number 3, no cheating. Yes, I may have hacked the game a little bit to make sure I can start off with a Sandshrew, otherwise I have to wait till Cerulean City or some shit, and frankly, that's not very good #video content. But aside from that, there will be no shenanigans involved, no save states, no altering movesets, no changing EVs or whatever. Just not doing it. It's just Sandshrews leveling up the old-fashioned way, the way we did back in elementary school and middle school and high school and college. And moving on. Rule number 4, beating the game means beating the Elite Four. I'm not trying to catch them all. In fact, I'm trying to catch as few as possible. So all I need to do is beat the Elite Four and your rival, and then that's it. The mission accomplished. Shrews win. Shrews forever. Shrews only chance, only wins, only Shrews. Let's go! Alright, so we have to start this off like we start off any of these classic Pokemon games. We have to tell the Pokemon professor, the man who invented the Pokedex, you know, the system used to catalog all of the Pokemon in the world. We have to tell him our name and the name of his grandson. The joke I see all the time about this is that, Professor Oak is like old and demented, and I don't think it's that simple. I think it's much more likely that his grandson's such an insolent little shit that he doesn't really, pay him any mind. And I think there's plenty of evidence to that effect. For the purposes of this journey, my name will be Betty, and the name of my rival shall be Davis. If you know, you know. Well, now it's time to get myself a Sandshrew, and the only way I know how is by walking in the tiny patch of grass outside of town, which I've certainly walked on before. I haven't spent my whole life in these few houses and a lab. Certainly there's been more to it than that. How does the economy of Palatown function? Is all Professor Oak, or is it this guy? Does he run like the infrastructure? Anyway, as part of my meddling, I had to remove one of the starters, and I thought it was only fair that we keep the type advantage, so I had to get rid of Charmander. Sorry, buddy, I'll see you around the next time around, but I had to cast you into the Shadow Realm for the purposes of Sandshrews. That, of course, means my rival has selected Squirtle, and yes, I know Bulbasaur would be a more effective type advantage, but I like Squirtle better, so I went this way, and it's my Shrews Only, so I'm gonna Shrews Only the way I'm gonna do it, okay? I'm naming my Sandshrew Handsome because, come on. While my rival is naming his Squirtle because he's the uncreative type of sociopath who would name his pet goldfish Goldfish. This is, of course, the initial rival battle, because I'm sure the first thing these Pokemon want to see after being in those balls for years? Decades? It's unclear. Is another one that wants to beat the ever-loving shit out of them. Don't really need to worry about him this time out, because he only knows Tackle, and for some reason he missed one of them. So it's a pretty straightforward victory here, even though, he can't believe it because he's a monster. So now that I've been told to smell my rival later, there's only 2 items of business on the docket now. I have to beat him again, and then I have to beat the rock gym leader, Brock. Normally this might involve catching a few other Pokemon to diversify types and maybe take advantage of the rock element's weakness, but for me it's just gonna be killing a lot of Pidgeys and Rattatas over and over and over again. For your sanity, I've clipped and sped up the footage here to save you the 30 some odd minutes I spent just killing Pidgeys and Rattatas, and in fact by the time I got to level 9 here I decided enough of this and went off to the Viridian Forest. Ha! This old man thinks he's gonna teach me how to catch Pokemon. Your lessons are useless, old man. Back in the Viridian Forest, or the state-sponsored sanctuary for 10-year-olds to live in harmony with the Metapod, it's time for my first battle with a bug catcher. I remember all these being somewhat straightforward, and my Sandshrew, is much more powerful than any of these bugs, so I guess the only thing I really need to avoid is, getting poisoned, but he's really only gonna have one shot to poison me here, so that's probably not gonna happen. Nah, what the fuck? I'll let that be a lesson to always carry on a few spare antidotes and potions. Me being the very smart and successful genius that I am did not do that. So let's just hope we can get through this next bug without much incident. Okay, it's a Caterpie. It's a Caterpie. They love string shotting. They're just gonna string shot me. They're not gonna attack my nice soft poison. Ah, come on! Alright, okay, I'll be able to kill it off, so it's nothing to worry about. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it back to the Pokemon Center, but, I beat a Caterpie, so there is that. Okay, time to get some steps in. We're gonna let the poison thing go off a few times, and we're just gonna see what the damage is, and yeah, not gonna be able to make it back. Okay, let's check the item bag. Do we have an antidote? We don't. Gonna have to burn a poison. Poison's the reason we're in this fucking mess. Gonna have to burn a potion, and hopefully won't have to burn 2 as I try to find the most efficient route back to the Pokemon Center. What exactly is the little pulse when your Pokemon is poisoned anyway? Is that you? Are you getting shocked by the Pokeball? Or, even worse, is your Pokemon just getting, stabbed with poison pains every couple of seconds? I thought they were in like a cryo sleep, like an alien when they're in the Pokeball. I like the idea of them just, sitting in a room blankly staring at the wall of a Pokeball while they're getting poisoned. That doesn't sound great. Anyway, I made it to the Pokemon Center in time. Handsome will live to fight another day, but I'm gonna have to stock up on antidotes. It seems like I'm gonna end up spending a lot of money on healing items this run instead of, Pokeballs or anything adjacent to the game aside from, capturing more Sandshrews. Alrighty then, now that we're all stocked up on antidote, it's time to go back to the bug tube and, beat up some 10-year-old children and their little bug friends and take all their money. It's a good game. It's a good game for children. Yo, you can't jam out if you're a Pokemon trainer. Bug catcher Doug, I'm getting tired of your nonsense. What always gets me about these bug catchers is they always come out with this bravado, but then they, throw out 2 Weedles, a Caterpie, a Cocoon at you. They have to know there are other Pokemon they can have, other bug Pokemon either. There's Scyther who has knife hands, that's pretty cool, and Beedrill, that's the next stage from Kakuna. It's got cool needle points, that'd be fun. I'd be talking a lot of shit if I had a Pokemon with needle hands or knife hands, as opposed to, a Cocoon or a Pod. After a little bit more grinding and hitting level 12, I decided it was time to finally take on the next task at hand. Oh, we meet again, you slippery son of a bitch. Thank you so much for tuning in to this first episode of Shrews Only. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button and then also hit the secondary notification bell because it's a good system. And, you'll find out whenever I'm dropping something new. And if you want to follow my general goings-on, I'm at PretorHunter on all social media platforms. Yeah, we'll be back with more good old-fashioned Shrew content soon.